With the migrant crisis in Lampedusa, Italy escalating, there are a number of questions being asked from the government in Europe and the European Union about their complacency, or as I say, complicity. Just like how Donald J. Trump, as the President of the United States a few years ago, warned Germany of their addiction to Russian gas and oil and everybody laughed at him, Nigel Farage also warned the European leaders in the European Parliament at the time, this is back in 2015, he warned them about what the current approach to borders and migration in Europe is going to be doing to the continent. They all laughed at him. Everybody ignored him. And they're not laughing now, are they? Let's get to this video that we have from 2015 and Nigel Farage, which is completely related to what's now happening, obviously the last few days in Lampedusa in Italy, where over 10,000 military-age young men have now invaded as migrants. And of course, what's been happening in this country, in France, in Germany, in Sweden, and across the continent of Europe.
Now, I suspect that it's a shock, or will be a hell of a shock, to many European citizens, including the British, to understand that we've already agreed a common European asylum system. And what today is about, and today's resolution, is the direct implementation of it. The problem, ladies and gentlemen, is this. The definitions for who qualifies for asylum are so wide, they include not just people coming from war, not just people coming from failed states. Mr Juncker this morning seemed to suggest that perhaps it would even include people who were fleeing poverty. I'm sorry, we simply can't accept countless millions.
That's exactly what's happened. The definition of asylum seekers is so wide now, all you have to say is essentially, well, these days there's a modern version. You can just basically say, oh, I fell asleep. I went out clubbing in Albania with my friends. I'm Albanian. Then we got too drunk. I fell asleep. I woke up on a small dinghy and I'm now in Dover. Please help me. I'm a victim of people's trafficking. So that's one. Two, you could just say, oh, the environment is not really safe for me in my home country. Even though you're not really a political asylum seeker, you're not really a political refugee, all you have to just say, oh, things are just difficult, I guess. And if I stay there, I will not be able to live. Okay, that's not really a political refugee status. That is more an economic migration problem. And the problem we now have with the Western globalists is that the so-called liberals, they don't care about any of those countries. They don't care about the world. They don't care about humanity. They are selfish people because they want to drain the brain and the talent from those countries, the underdeveloping countries who are basically getting destroyed. And what they want, the liberals saying, it's okay, you can come to our country. So we're going to use your talents, and especially those who actually have something to contribute, right? Economically, by the way, not culturally. And they say, it's okay, now I feel better about myself because a lot of the people in the West, the liberals, have this self-guilt mentality. So by bringing in a couple of people from foreign countries, they feel better. Hey, I'm doing something good for the world. But what they're actually doing, they are damaging those home countries because the few people who have some talent, they are leaving their home countries, even if they don't have to leave because they're not political refugees. So those countries are not going to get built. Those countries continue to get damaged and damaged and damaged, which means more of them will have to then leave to come to the developed world. And then what will happen? The developed world will eventually go down, as we are seeing now. And stagnation will then result in the West becoming undeveloping. So then the whole cycle will continue again. And then the rise of what China will happen. But China is also not sustainable, the system in Beijing. So the whole thing is idiotic. But it will help those who have international Marxist ideas to the crazy extreme sides who believe in starting from scratch to create a utopia for the whole world. No borders and no flags. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I'm Tousi, and we are the media.